Now the basics to this are real simple. The natural tendency when you're putting a lot of air into the instrument is to tighten and constrict. Okay? So I'm going to give you audible ideas of what the air sounds like. So the air sounds a lot of times like this. Or this guttural, ugly sound. Okay? With the proper oral cavity shape and throat condition, it could sound like this. Rather than all right? Now, can you imagine what your sound or your tone quality would sound like if you were playing with this air? Versus this air. Okay? There's a difference. So now we have to go, duh. What am I saying here? Wayne is telling me that the condition of the throat and the shape of my mouth cavity changes my tone. Yes, it does. And do we need to have a good mind's eye of what we feel like and what we sound like every time we play? Absolutely. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the instruments and we're going to play exercises 1, 2, and 3. What are those exercises? They're sustained tone exercises. It gives you the opportunity now in your warm-up to make sure you're getting a good vibration of the lip, a good vibration of the reed. Okay? It gives you the opportunity to make sure that you're playing with the correct quality of air, the correct shape of the mouth cavity, the correct temperature of air. Right? So it's a really simple exercise, but it really gives you the opportunities to start to think about what do I feel like, what do I sound like, and what adjustments do I have to make in those physical characteristics to get a better tone. Okay? So real simple. So right now we're going to do exercises. Well, let's just start with 1, 2, and 3. And your focus is open throat, warm air, no tightness or constriction in the throat area whatsoever. Okay? And I want you to make sure that we've got a good set with the embouchure, good vibration of whatever the vibrating medium is, reed and or tissue. Okay? Brass players, most of you are going to probably want to put too much hand pressure, use too much hand pressure, and get a little too much mouthpiece pressure. And what's that going to do? That's going to limit the vibration of the tissue in the embouchure or around the aperture that vibrates. So be careful about the hand pressure you use. Okay? Everybody understand what the task is? It's real simple, and it's the beginning of becoming a great musician playing with a great sound. We good with that?
Yeah.
Good. Back to your instruments. Thank you very much. Your focus is center of tone, center of pitch. Condition of the throat, open, warm air. Here we go. Set. 1, 2, and full breath in and. Balance the crescendo to the point of release. Don't change pitch on the crescendo. Take your time. Warm air, open. Breathe, full breath. And relax. Let me talk to you very quickly about some of the tendencies that you have. We talked about tone, we talked about air support, with temperature of the air, condition of the throat. A couple of things that are very important. On the last note of each sequence, I want you to crescendo to the point of beat 1 of the next measure. So, and it's a gradual crescendo. You've got to make sure you don't change the pitch and don't come out of the balance of the section or the ensemble. But it's important that you learn how to change your air pressure, which creates larger volume of air going into the instrument at the ends of the exercises. Okay? Lastly, the thing that's very, very important is the timing and depression of the valves or the keys as we change pitch. So your timing of your tongue stroke, the attack vehicle, the attack, and the timing of the valves or keys as you change notes have to happen simultaneously, but in the tempo of the metronome or the conductor's hands. Let's try number 2, please. Quality of sound. 1, 2, completely full. Breathe. Timing of the valve depression. Breathe full, completely full. Be careful of the pitch of the interval. Breathe. Completely full of air. Intonation and pitch. Good. Relax. All right, now, 2 issues. Again, we're going to start to talk about varieties of techniques that have to be done and accomplished during the exercise. Talked about breath. We talked about simultaneity of the tongue stroke and the valve or key depression. A couple of other issues. The exercises are built not only on sustained tones, but intervals. Half step, full step, step and a half. And the reason it's built on intervals is because it gives you the opportunity now to learn the correct intonation of each interval and to learn to go to from the center of one tone to the center of the next tone, back to the center of the tone you initiated from, but also from one pitch center to the next pitch center, back to the initial pitch center. So it's now not only about your best sound, it's about pitch and the center of pitch and the intonation of the interval. Now here's something else I want you to be very, very aware of. And I mentioned this a couple of times in some of the rests. I want you to completely fill the body of air in the amount of time that you're resting. So we're going to do something very, very simple. See if you can play to the end of your breath during the musical phrase, so you're completely out of air by the time that you have to breathe, and then in that 4-count space, you're completely full of air. So from a breathing point of view, you're going completely empty to completely full. Completely empty to completely full. So now we're adding pitch center, tone center, and breathing efficiency to the end of your breath, then completely full in the space that you have. All right? Let's do number 3. So now we've got a lot of different techniques that we're adding on top of each other to create the excellence in your tone quality and your musical performance. 2, and breathe.